Whether it's an omission or just a straight up lie to your face, I'm going to share with you the 5 most used lies that have been told to my buyers or me by builders and their agents. If you're looking to buy new construction or in the process of purchasing a new construction home, you cannot afford to miss this video. Let's do it. Hey, John McCoy at Landon's Real McCoy, and I'm here to share with you my years of experience with working with builders and buyers who are trying to buy new construction homes. Now in this video, I'm not throwing every single builder under the bus, but a majority of the times that I have worked with buyers buying new construction, there have been, along the way, lies that have been told. Now, whether the builder or the builder's agent was just lying by omission or just straight up not telling us the truth, there have been actually a majority of the buyers that I've helped have had lies told to them in one way or the other, somewhere along the process, and a number of times multiple lies. I don't know the motivation of the builder or the builder's agent lying to us. I will say sometimes that the buyer's agent just didn't know the answer, so I think they just made it up on the spot, found out later that it wasn't true, and then tried to shift around what they said or lied about not saying it. Sometimes maybe it's just easier to lie and fix the issue later, or sometimes maybe they just don't want to deal with the issue that's at hand. But it happens a lot. You know, I oftentimes get asked, why do I do these videos? And there's kind of 2 reasons. One is I'm a teacher at heart. Before I jumped into real estate 9 years ago, I taught high school for 11 years. But the other reason is I hate when people get taken advantage of. And I've come to learn about and see both family and friends getting taken advantage of. In terms of real estate, we're talking about the purchase of something that's probably your most valuable asset that you may ever own. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars we're talking about. And at such high stakes, there's so many people out there, maybe just like you, that can't afford to be taken advantage of, that they've put years and years of work into saving up for a home purchase, and now they are putting their trust into the builders, their agents, and myself as an agent to guide them along a process that they're not used to, that they don't know much about. So for me, it's 100% personal here. It's 100% me wanting to protect the buyers I work with and people I don't. I mean, you may be watching this from California, Florida, I don't know where you're watching this from, but I want to make sure that you're protected when you go out and purchase a home, specifically in this case, new construction. So I'm going to share with you the 5 lies that I've come across the most when dealing with builders and new construction. After doing that, I'm going to go back through each, talk about them in a little more detail, and what you can do to protect yourself as you go through the home buying process of new construction. So these 5 lies are the sales price of the home, what's included with the home or not included with the home, that you don't need an inspection, that after the inspection, the things found in that inspection, they aren't real problems and don't really need to be fixed. And the lie of, we'll come and fix this after we close. So let's address lie number 1, the sales price. All right, most of the times when you get under contract for a home, you put the sales price in, everybody agrees to it, and then when you close on the home, that's the money you need to bring to the table to close on it, whether you're bringing cash or get the loan from a lender. Now, what's happened, especially over these last few years, is that buyers have been putting sales price into contracts. And to their surprise, maybe a month out, a few weeks out, a couple months out, whatever the case may be, of closing on their new construction home, the builder approaches them and tells them that that original sales price that they were under contract for is no longer the sales price, that price has now jumped up $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000. And to the surprise of the buyer, they don't know what to do. They signed a contract. This should be what the price is, and I 100% agree, it should be what the price is. But here's the situation. So, for example, buyer gets under contract for $600,000 new construction home. Now, one thing to know about in new construction is the builders use contracts that their lawyers that they paid a lot of money to have created. And every builder uses a different contract. So it's very important that you read over the contract. Now, some of these contracts, it kind of just flat out says that if the builder incurs higher prices on construction materials as they go through this process, they have the right to increase the sales price of the home. Others, did not foresee what happened over these past few years. And what happened is people got under contract for homes. In the craziness that has been the past few years, prices have gone up on building materials. We've had supply chain shortages. And so builders went under contract, and 6 or 7 months later, when they're approaching the final phases of the home build, they realized that this $600,000 home wasn't going to net them much profit, or maybe none at all. Maybe they even lost some. So what they were doing is trying to find a way in their contract to wiggle out of that sales price and charge more for the buyer. Now, in all these situations that I've come across, the builder was giving the earnest money back. But if someone's about to close on a home and all your plans are on moving into this home in a week, 2 weeks, a month, you don't have any contingencies lots of times. You thinking you're going to close, and then all of a sudden the builder comes back and says this $600,000 home is now $650,000. Heck, you might not even qualify for that much with your lender. So these are big issues that are coming up. There's a lot of litigation that has gone on with it. And the crazy thing is that builders sometimes have not had in their contract specifically they can change the sales price. They find other reasons to change the sales price with language that you may never have picked up on. Language that actually was supposed to be protecting you as a buyer they're using, such as language that says if they don't start to clear the property to prepare the home within 6 months of the contract being signed, that the contract can be null and void. And so what they do is they just don't go about clearing the property of the home. Prices have gone up and they just wait purposefully. In my opinion, if you put a sales price in a contract and 6 months later you're ready to close, that's the sales price. It stinks that prices went up for building materials, but that's the loss of the builder. If the reverse was true, if you went under contract for a $600,000 home and everything just tanked and building prices went down, do you think the builder is going to lower the price? Not at all. They're going to take advantage and get more money out of it. So why should it be that when the prices go up, the builder can all of a sudden charge more money? Next, what's not included in the purchase of a home? Oh, this one got me when I first started in real estate. I was within my first year, maybe year two. I had a buyer buying a new construction home. And, I'm learning a lot as I go along. But what I didn't know, to my surprise, was we're about to close on the home during the final walkthrough. We go into the garage and there's no garage door opener. The whole mechanism is gone. It's just the garage door with no opener. So I contacted the agent for the builder, and to my surprise, I find out they don't include garage door openers with the home. Now, who this day and time doesn't have a garage door opener with their garage door? I mean, it should be included. That's the assumption. Now, I took it on me. I actually gave the buyers a gift card to go out and purchase a garage door opener and get it installed, because that's my fault. Even though I didn't know, I should have known. It's my job. But I learned a valuable lesson, and that is you need to find out everything that's included when purchasing a new home. Now, one thing you as a buyer can do is get the standard items list that's included in the purchase of a home. Now, as you walk through a model home, you might see blinds and garage door openers and think they're included with the home. Well, guess what? They might not be. So this list of standard items in the home is very important for you to get. Another thing that I think should happen is I think builders should have to say what's not included in the home that people would assume, such as gutters. There are some counties and cities that you don't have to have gutters on the home by standard building practices for that county. It's not required. Or there don't have to be gutters in the back of the home. It's just dumb to me. I mean, gutters should be included on a home. But if a builder's not including it, I think that they should have to state whether they're included or not. So all the standard items, the garage door opener, the gutters, blinds on the front and back, window screens. You need to think about everything that goes into a home and make sure you ask the builder's agent if it is or isn't included. So get that standard list, take a look at it, and it doesn't matter how small you think the item is, ask about it. Next one's one of my favorites, and it's, hey, you don't really need an inspection on the home. We've got county and city inspectors that come out on every stage of the build to make sure it's done properly, from laying the foundation to putting up the frame and drywalling, electric, blah, 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 the list goes on and on. Do you have to have an inspection? You don't have to. Should you have an inspection? Absolutely 100% you should. And if the county and city inspectors were so great, then when my buyers did inspections for new construction homes, they shouldn't find anything. However, when buying new construction inspection reports, there are a litany of items that can come up with new construction. You can take a look at this list right here and go down and see. One of my favorite items on this one is near the end of the inspection report, where it was noted that the gas meter that was hooked up to the home, the pipes on there were rusted. They used old pipes to attach the gas meter to the home. They were buying new construction. New, that's the appropriate term. You should have new pipes to connect to the gas meter to the home, but they didn't. Don't need an inspection is not true. You need an inspection and get as many as you can get done. There are 3 types you could do, but typically most people do 2, and that is a pre-drywall inspection and then your final inspection. Next one up, that doesn't need to be fixed. Yeah, so after getting your inspection, you give the builder the inspection report. Builders and inspectors just don't like each other. Builders, I think, may be the root cause of why the inspectors don't like them, because builders will say, oh, the inspector's just making up things. You're paying them to inspect the home, so they think that they have to find something and put it in the inspection report. Yeah, that's bull, okay? The inspectors have to note anything that's not up to code. And if you come across a scenario where you get an inspection and you send it to the builder and they say, oh, this doesn't really need to be fixed, you need to do what I did. What I have done actually on multiple occasions is I've been in front of the builder with the inspection report. They say the inspector lied, that this is fine, it is up to code, blah, blah, blah. All right, this is what they say. Well, I decided to call them on that bluff. I already had talked with my inspector and I told the builder, hey, my inspector is ready for my phone call. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to put you, the builder, on the phone with my inspector, and we're going to put it on speakerphone for the buyer and myself all to hear. And we can talk about whether these items were made up or whether these items are or are not to code. You want to know how many builders have taken me up on that offer? How many builders wanted to talk to my inspector to try to prove their case that these weren't real items? That'd be 0. Not one of them. Every single one has caved and said, okay, we'll fix the items. What does that mean? It means one of 2 things. Either A, they're too lazy to fight for, their own opinions on this is or isn't up to code, which to me probably isn't likely, because if you think you're right and it's something up to code, you're going to fight for it just to not have to do the work. Or B, they're lying. They just don't want to do the work and are trying to get away with telling you that the inspection is incorrect. So call their bluff. Have an inspector that's willing to talk to the builder and put it on speaker. And the last one, it probably causes the most headaches for buyers in the end, and that's, we'll address these issues after we close on the home. Look, here's the biggest thing you have for the builder to do their job, and that's not closing. They don't get paid until they close. And you may have it where they said they'd fix inspection items, you pointed out things that needed to be addressed when you did your walkthroughs, you do your final walkthrough right before closing, and it's still not fixed. What does the builder oftentimes do? We'll fix it after closing. Here's the hard part. You're about to close. You might even have movers set up and everything ready to go, and your home's not right. One thing you could do is not close, as long as the contract allows that. The other thing is you close trusting the builder will address the items. Here's some things you can do to try to alleviate the issue of the builder not coming in. One is to look to see, are you the last home being built in that subdivision, or are there lots more homes being built? If there are a lot more homes being built, that means the builder's going to be around. What you can do if they're not doing their job of coming in there like they said and fixing the items is you nag the builder over and over until they come in, right? You go into that sales office and talk to the agent on duty, letting them know you're not happy until it's fixed. Because trust me, when potential buyers are coming into that neighborhood and they can't sell a home because you're telling how bad the builder is for fixing items they said they would fix, they don't want to have that. So that's one thing you can do. The other is make sure it's in the contract, and you can make amendments right before closing stating that these items will survive closing and that they're to be fixed within X number of days. Issues still can come up with this though. I had buyers that their entire grass was dead for their home they were buying. Right, all the sod died. issue was that it was late in the year, so putting new sod in was not going to grow. It was going to turn that brown color, and we wouldn't really know until spring or fall if it would come back. So we wrote in the contract that the current grass that was in there, that if it didn't come back by a certain time during springtime, that the builder would come in, take up that sod and lay all new sod. Time comes around, grass is all dead. Do you think the builder came in and replaced it all? Nope. What happened was the builder pointed a finger at the subcontractor who was the landscape sod person, and they pointed it back at the builder. No one wanted to come in and do their job. And so then came the case of, what do you do? And we had to talk about, maybe going after them, legally and suing to make them do what the contract says. It is a lie oftentimes told that after closing we'll get it fixed. Really need to know a time frame for that. Really need to figure out, is this a big ticket item like some paint that just needs to be done, or is this all of your grass being dead? The other thing is, make sure you continue to use your agent to help you fight these battles, okay? We're in contact with builders and we're in contact with other agents all the time. Builders don't want to get a bad reputation of building poor homes or not having good customer service. Now, right now in 2022, seems like they can care less because everybody's buying everything. This is going to change soon enough. And when it does, the builders and their agents are going to be back in offices like mine trying to convince us to bring our clients out to their new construction homes. Make sure you have an agent that's willing to fight for what is in the contract and what the builder should be doing. I've got more new construction videos, if you'd like to watch those, about the process of buying new construction and some more things to look out for when it comes to dealing with buyers. And you can find those videos right here. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.